Hello, Oracles. Well, Tesla stock continues to push up. This is awesome. Intraday, it actually got to the exact level that my cost basis is at 221.29. I was break even on Tesla for just a split moment. It felt awesome. Even though we closed below that, still very excited. We closed just over 217. We'll go into those numbers. We'll get into all the European sales numbers that just came out. Karav did a great post over on Twitter about that, so we'll discuss that. And there's a Citi analyst who came out and increased their price target for Tesla stock. We'll take a look at that as well. We'll go over all that and more in just a minute. All right, so taking a look at the charts here, again, we closed at 217.61, up 1.7%. RSI still keeps pushing up. Now, again, in the past, we've gotten up to an RSI over 90. There's a lot of stocks, a lot of tech stocks that are overbought. I was taking a look. We've got Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA. I mean, not just on the daily, on the monthly, weekly, they are extremely overbought. I am anticipating a sell-off and a cool-off coming. I don't know if it's going to be a sell-off where we crash or just a cool-off just to kind of get it back under the overbought range. But I think that is coming, and I think we're due. Crypto today pulled back significantly. Usually that is a leading indicator. So that may be the leading indicator saying that we're expecting a pullback coming soon. Now, again, that is not to spread FUD by any means. I'm just trying to be realistic and let you guys know that this run is awesome, but it is natural and healthy for us to cool off a little bit. And before I add heavier, I am going to be awaiting that cool off. Now, today I did get to my 69th share. That is extremely exciting for me. And getting to my 69th share on the day that I broke even intraday, pretty darn awesome. All right, so Karav sharing out over on Twitter. If you guys are on Twitter, I highly recommend following him. Great information from him. Tesla deliveries in Europe for May are in. Year-to-date deliveries are up 120% compared to the same time frame in 2022. May came in at 29,236 deliveries, consisting of 20,974 Model Ys, 6,182 Model 3s, and 2,080 Model S and X. I expect approximately 100,000 sales in Europe in Q2 2023. And so now looking at the chart here, you can see definitely the effect of Berlin ramp kicking in. The more Berlin has ramped up, the more they have sold. It just makes total sense, obviously. And they're going to sell more out of there because now they don't have to wait for waves of vehicles to come in from Shanghai. Now, tomorrow morning, we will be getting the insured vehicle numbers out of China. So that'll be important to take a look at as well, especially knowing that this is the last month of the quarter. Typically, the last month of the quarter, Tesla focuses more on domestic deliveries. So those numbers should be climbing nicely as well. Now, of course, as we go forward in time, we are going to be noticing a lot less of that export coming in from out of China because Berlin is going to be able to supply the majority of the vehicles that are needed over in Europe. So we will be seeing that shift happen over time as we go along, but it's still going to take some time to get there. Either way, these numbers coming out of Europe are outstanding. So again, 1 month left in the quarter. Let's see if Tesla pushes. Let's see what kind of tweets Elon puts out. In the past, we've seen, very subtle kind of hints and ideas as to what we could possibly feel are coming for the end of the quarter numbers. So let's see if Elon puts any of these tweets out. If I actually get some time, I will put together my updated numbers for the end of the quarter. Just extremely busy in my life right now. So I may have a little time here and there to dive into it. Otherwise, again, Karav is amazing with numbers. So I'll be looking to him for some advice as well as to what he has seen coming in that maybe I have missed. And now in some other news, we've got Sawyer Merritt tweeting out, news, Citi has raised its Tesla price target to $215 from $175 while maintaining a neutral rating. Now, of course, looking at the close today of $217, that's a $2 downside, but watching analysts raise their price targets prior to the last 2 weeks of the quarter is important because obviously they have seen European numbers and some other things coming out saying, you know what, things are looking more positive. We are going to raise our price targets now. Typically, it's the last 2 weeks of a quarter when analysts start updating all of their ratings, so having it this early is nice. We will see how many others follow suit. Now, one of the things that I go back to as well is I don't like to look at all the price targets themselves because it's really just an arbitrary number that they based upon their, spreadsheets for their valuation models. So I don't look at those in particular numbers. I like to look at the trends. So if we start seeing a lot more analysts coming out with price targets that are going up, that is a positive thing when we're seeing the trends going up. Like previously, a few years ago, we saw even the most bearish bears going up 15, 20, 30, 40% on their price targets. That's significant. So when you're seeing that changing, that is what you want to pay attention to. Also, having them go from like a neutral or a hold to a buy rating, that's important as well, because that says, hey, they're now at a price where we think the valuation is going to get better as the future goes on. We think that the return on our investment is worth it to buy at these levels. Those are the other pieces of the ratings that I like to pay attention to. And now other fundamental pieces of news that I like to pay attention to are things like this. Sawyer Merritt tweeting out, news, Panasonic will reportedly increase production of Tesla's 2170 battery cells at Gigafactory Nevada over the next 2 years by 10%. The decision to increase production comes as Tesla puts pressure on Panasonic to meet its increasing demand for EVs. So the significance behind that is the fact that on a fundamental level, when we have all these questions about, how is Tesla's demand doing? Are they really having demand problems? And we do discuss realistically that is an overall global automotive market struggle that is going on at the moment. So yes, there's a challenge that they are facing when it comes to demand because of the fact that interest rates are so high. But the fact that Tesla is putting pressure on Panasonic to increase the battery production because of the fact that they are anticipating even more demand for their vehicles, that's huge. That means that Tesla is saying, hey, we want this. Now, that may coincide with the fact that Ford and GM have both kind of admitted the fact that, well, Tesla is leading. Congratulations, they've actually admitted that. Well, more so GM. Ford had admitted that previously. Jim Farley is pretty open and honest about that. However, both of them are saying that they might not be profitable until 2030 when it comes to their EVs. This would explain why they took that big step back saying, all right, we're going to put some focus back on our ICE vehicles because we need profits somehow in the next 7 years. We can't go without profits because we're already in debt as it is. So looking at all of that tells me that if they're going to be focusing more on ICE vehicles, their push to get out EVs may not be as strong as previously anticipated, which means that there's going to be more of a market for Tesla to dive into. Hence, pushing out more batteries for more EVs, more room for Tesla to grow, more reason for me to want to buy. And of course, it's not like Tesla isn't trying to help the competition. Elon Musk tweeting out earlier, Tesla aspires to be as helpful as possible to other car companies. We made all our patents freely available several years ago. Now, we are enabling other companies to use our supercharger network. Also, happy to license Autopilot FSD or other Tesla technology. So Elon is literally coming out saying, whatever you guys need from us to help you grow, we'll help you. We have no problems with that. We will help you grow because that is what their mission is, and they know that they can't complete their mission on their own. We know that everybody is moving in that direction already. However, everybody else actually pushing as hard as Tesla is will speed up that direction. We will see how this goes over time, but this to me is just showing that the world is transitioning to EVs and renewable energy. That's not a question. Tesla is pushing harder than ever to get there. Meanwhile, other competition is kind of taking a little step back because they still can't figure out how Tesla does it, how they do it, despite the fact that Tesla comes out and tells them exactly how they do it. Kind of frustrating how it's like, hey, here's how you play the game. And people are like, I don't understand how to play the game. Here's how you play it. This is what we are doing. Do it. I don't know. I don't get it. So anyway, we'll get there. And either way, in that process, Tesla is going to be able to take over even more of this market share because of the fact that the other companies just can't seem to figure it out the way Tesla has. So overall, very excited about the way the stock has been moving lately. Of course, I am not selling any of my shares. I sold the shares that I wanted to sell out of my IRA previously. If we run from here, so be it. I missed out on some of those things there, but my main portfolio, again, not touching anything over there. Still looking to thin out some of my other stocks. I did put in a stop loss for even more of my Palantir. I do think it's going to come down and fill that gap at $10. So I don't mind selling out some more because I will be buying back in at those lower levels later on. I do have some other stocks as well that I'm thinning out just to free up some more cash because, again, I am anticipating this pullback, trying to free up this cash. To me, this is kind of that second chance that I missed before 2022 kind of squashed everything. Kind of taking this as an opportunity to sell some of my stocks, free up even more cash because I think we're going to get some really good buying opportunities over the next 12 months, despite the fact that it doesn't feel like it right now. Be excited in this moment. I want to be excited with you guys. I am. This is absolutely awesome. But looking down the road, looking at the other signals that we're looking at, I'm trying to keep my emotions out of this and not get swept up in any FOMO and realize that the reality is we're most likely going to have a very rough 12 months. And because of that, I want to be ready to take advantage of as much as I possibly can, because once we get through that, that's when we can really flourish. And it's at that point that I will be putting a lot more money into the market. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as we go. Either way, very exciting. I will be on tomorrow night with a live stream, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate all your feedback. Have a great one.